Who are you to dare block the path of the Gogh sword sect? This time, nearly 100 people came from the Gogh sword sect, including the sect leader and elders and disciples. A dozen of them instantly drew their longswords and blocked Fang Jueyu's path. Hey Gogh, don't pretend you're deaf. I'm calling you. Last time you broke my door and scared me awake from my dream, causing me to have a fever for days. We need to settle this today, don't you think? Fang Jueyu pulled out a calculator from somewhere and began pressing it rapidly. My front door is made of golden nanmu, the materials plus labor, $600,000. Waking me from my dream, $400,000 in mental damages is not too much, right? Also, I had a fever for 3 days. I wasn't managing the many businesses worldwide. Shouldn't I calculate the lost wages? Being someone who earns tens of millions to $100 million a day, I'll call it $300 million for 3 days. I'll even wipe the extra million off. Pay up. Beep, reset. Fang Jueyu put away the calculator and stretched out a hand towards the Gogh sword sect. Ha ha ha, where did this wild kid come from to dare act recklessly at our Gogh sword sect? A middle-aged man who appeared to be in his 50s laughed aloud. Gogh, do you know this kid? The moment Gogh saw Fang Jueyu, he showed a panicked expression. Having been easily defeated by Fang Jueyu, whose strength was undoubtedly at the peak of Gangjin, fear settled deeply within him after being taught a lesson once. Fifth Elder, this is the current richest man in the world, Fang Jueyu. Last time, I went to collect the management fee and got injured by him. Gogh didn't even dare look Fang Jueyu in the eye. Oh, it's really him. They had been somewhat skeptical when Gogh returned injured last time, but from Fang Jueyu's aura, he indeed possessed cultivation above the 5th level of Gangjin, so Gogh's defeat was no surprise. It was unimaginable how a young man in his 20s could have such cultivation. The top 5 elders of the Gogh sword sect were all at the peak of Gangjin, having reached Gangjin at least after the age of 40, and were already exceptionally talented. Yet it was just Gangjin after all. The 5th elder could feel that despite Fang Jueyu not having a thick reserve of innate true qi or cosmic source power, he could reluctantly mobilize some, but at most, his cultivation was the same as theirs. Aside from the most powerful Great Elder, there were 4 experts at the peak of Gangjin, along with the sect leader in the innate realm. What could a single Fang Jueyu possibly stir up? Mr. Fang, I am Gogh, the 5th elder of the Gogh sword sect. Last time when my junior went to collect the management fee, his behavior was indeed somewhat rough. Here, I apologize to you. Even though there was a significant age gap between them, in the ancient martial world, their ranks were the same. At least Elder Gogh knows how to speak, not like some people who act so arrogantly as if they're invincible. Fang Jueyu glanced at Gogh, who immediately avoided his gaze. In that case, let's forget about the lost wages. Just compensate for my door and mental damage. $1 million should be nothing to you guys, right? A flicker of displeasure instantly crossed Gogh's face. $1 million was indeed not much, but if they paid up now, wouldn't that mean the Gogh sword sect was admitting defeat? Besides, Fang Jueyu's management fee still hadn't been handed over. Underneath the innate, all were ants, and that money had to be collected. Mr. Fang, the matter of compensation can be discussed, but regarding the management fee, we still need to negotiate. Gogh showed a troubled expression. The management fee isn't something our Gogh sword sect wants to collect. It's a regulation of the Ancient Martial Association. We kindly request you to pay up to avoid putting us in a difficult position. While it was true that the Ancient Martial Association set the management fee, the sect collecting it could get a 50% rebate. This detail he didn't reveal. Still want to collect a protection fee? Fang Jueyu's face darkened. Where is the Ancient Martial Association? I'll go destroy it. I work hard from dawn to dusk to earn money, and they want it just because they say so. What kind of sense does that make? Humph, arrogant. The 4th elder snorted coldly. Old 5, this kid is clearly here to cause trouble today, not intending to pay the management fee. The Ancient Martial Association is not something he can slander at will. The Ancient Martial Association was jointly established by all the sects and families, so cursing it meant cursing the Gogh sword sect too. Kid, I advise you to hand over the management fee obediently, or you can forget about leaving here easily today. The 4th elder waved his hand. Go. A group of Gogh sword sect's disciples immediately advanced and surrounded Fang Jueyu. Kid, we respectfully address you as Mr. Fang. Otherwise, you are nothing. Don't take undue advantage, the 4th elder said. Being able to advance to the peak of Ganjin at your age is truly impressive, yet the peak of Ganjin also has its gradations. So you can't collect the protection fee, and you're resorting to robbery. Fang Jueyu had come with the intent to cause trouble, but he hadn't expected them to act so righteously while collecting the protection fee. Right, the same peak of Ganjin also has its gradations. It seems like if I want my compensation today, I'll have to act myself. Fang Jueyu took a step forward, and a visible wave of biological current immediately spread out, the momentum as sharp as an unsheathed sword. Ding, ding, ding. All the longswords in the hands of the Gogh sword sect's disciples began to tremble uncontrollably, as if summoned by a mysterious force, even showing a sign of flying out of their hands. "Sword come!" Fang Jueyu shouted loudly. Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, over 100 longswords flew out of their hands and headed straight toward Fang Jueyu. Under the guidance of a mysterious force, those longsword blades faced upward, hovering around his body as if ready to respond to his call at any moment. Is this sword intent? The pupils of several elders dilated several times. Even innate experts might not have grasped sword intent. They de-lived most of their lives without even touching its threshold. Sword control technique. After learning the Lonely Nine Swords, Fang Jueyu wanted to learn the All Swords Return to the Root, but this martial art required no inner strength. After painstakingly achieving near-potential source power, how could he bear to part with his cultivation? So he began learning the sword control technique with Li Xiao. The sword control technique had transcended the realm of martial arts, even reaching the height of immortal techniques. Although he had just begun, mere mundane weapons were toys in his hand. Those treasured swords danced freely around him under his energy's guidance, cutting the soil beneath them to shreds. Those less powerful disciples were wounded and collapsed on the ground, their skins split open by the sword chi. 10,000 sword technique. Fang Jueyu pointed forward, and the 100 longswords shot forward in unison, terrifyingly powerful and awe-inspiring. Retreat. Fang Jueyu's swordsmanship far exceeded their expectations. Was this truly a powerful attack that could be launched by an acquired martial artist? But why could he, with a cultivation at the peak of Ganjin, harness the power of heaven and earth? Protective sword gang. The four elders knew that at this moment they couldn't rely on their status. If they didn't join forces, there was no way they could withstand this move, and they would all be injured. Clang, clang, clang. The sword array was blocked by the protective gang chi of the four elders, half a meter in front of them. Each sword emitted a continuous buzzing sound, yet it couldn't advance an inch nor retreat a fraction. The four people wore extremely grim expressions. Protective gang chi was a unique ability of Ganjin practitioners, and even bullets couldn't penetrate this layer of gang chi. However, Fang Jueyu's attack was 10 times more terrifying than a bullet. They bore an immense amount of pressure. Even working together, they could barely fend off Fang Jueyu's attack. This move had already surpassed the limits of a Ganjin practitioner. At this moment, Wang Kong and Chen Menghen finally arrived, but they never expected to witness such a shocking scene. Fang Jueyu, relying solely on his own power, controlled hundreds of sharp swords, pushing the four elders of the Gogh sword sect at the peak of Ganjin to such a point. What's his background? Chen Menghen felt a sense of pressure from that move that even innate martial artists had never given her. Where in the world could you find such swordsmanship? Damn, Lao Fang is this sword control technique. That's awesome. Teach me next time. You guessed it. Wang Kong's nonsensical conjecture was actually correct. All right, when we get back, I'll teach you. As long as you're willing to put in the effort and time, I guarantee you can beat this group in a year. A year? Chen Menghen caught her breath. Even getting a basic understanding of ancient martial arts in a year was a stretch. Many martial artists spent a lifetime unable to reach the threshold of the innate stage. Yet Fang Jueyu claimed that a year would suffice. But thinking of Gu Yi, who had reached the mythical realm, Chen Menghen felt anything was possible. However, why had she never heard of such a powerful force before? Not bad, not bad. The four ordinary Ganjin practitioners could actually block 50% of my power. That's quite something. Compared to the ferocious expressions of the four, Fang Jueyu appeared completely at ease. What, only 50% power? Impossible, he must be bluffing. Does he think he's an innate martial artist? You'll know soon enough if I'm bluffing. Fang Jueyu adjusted his biological current, instantly gathering more cosmic source power into his attack. Break for me. Crack, the exceptionally sturdy protective gang chi shattered on cue, and the lethal swords continued unabated toward the four elders. "Young man, where possible, spare people. You're severely disrespecting me and the Gukeng sword sect." At that moment, the old man with white hair, who had been standing at the back, finally moved. He extended 2 fingers toward the empty space ahead, and a golden sword chi clashed with Fang Jueyu's attack. The 2 forces were evenly matched. Over 100 refined steel, long swords were shattered into powder by the colliding energies, leaving a field of iron dust. Such powerful sword chi. His expression shifted slightly. The sword move from a young man at the peak of Gangjin could actually rival his sword chi. Even though he hadn't used his full strength, the gap between innate and acquired martial artists was vast. The power of innate true chi was dozens of times stronger than inner strength. Even the strongest acquired martial artists could not withstand one move from an innate martial artist, but Fang Jueyu managed to do so. His body seemed to teleport as he appeared in front of the 4 elders. To have such strength at a young age is truly remarkable, but you must remember, strength overcompensated leads to breaks. "You're the sect leader of the Gukeng sword sect." Fang Jueyu looked the old man up and down. Though innate martial artists could compare to hidden elementers, this ancient form of cultivation was no match for the orthodox potential development method of a highly civilized cosmic society. A peak innate martial artist might barely contend with a junior hidden elementer. "I am Gogh, the current sect leader of the Gukeng sword sect," Gogh said condescendingly. "Young man, you injured my disciple and insulted my sect. This year's management fee will rise to 50%, and I'll let bygones be bygones." "Damn, still here to demand money." Fang Jueyu slapped his forehead. "I ask you, are you brainless or am I? You barge into my home for protection fees, and when I demand compensation, you resort to violence. Now you're twisting the facts. You think you're superior. Where does this misplaced sense of superiority come from?" Fang Jueyu articulated all the grievances he had long harbored in his heart. If the other party hadn't been an old man, he might have used even more colorful language. "You're courting death." A sect leader had never been questioned like this. Moreover, Gogh was infamous for his volatile and murderous temperament. The Ancient Martial Association's rule states that ancient martial artists must not kill ordinary people at will, but killing you, in that, I'm not accountable. After you're dead, your assets will be taken over by my Gukeng sword sect. Clang! Gogh extended his hand, and a pitch-black treasure sword suddenly shot from a sword-holding disciple. Compared to ordinary swords forged from refined steel, this sword was undoubtedly a divine weapon. Innate weapons could only be crafted by a master of the innate realm. Even among innate masters, possessing an innate weapon was extremely rare, and its value was nearly impossible to measure with money. "You want to kill me?" Fang Jueyu's tone turned icy. Were these ancient martial sects brigands or robbers? All they talked about was money or protection fees. How could Huaxia allow these forces to develop unchecked? He really couldn't understand. "Master, this person has the strength of a hidden elementer. Shall I take action?" "No need. I want to see how my current strength measures against an innate master. If I falter, then you step in." "Yes. Seems I should find an opportunity to have a good chat with the chief. It's time to reform these sects," Fang Jueyu muttered to himself. "Youngster, to die by my sword is your honor." Gogh's sword was unmatched by those of the elders and disciples. It was fast and ruthless. Even Fang Jueyu could barely follow its speed. "Host, bring out the sword left by your ancestor. This little broken sword might not even withstand a strike from you." "Right, almost forgot about this thing." Gogh's sword reached Fang Jueyu, but in that fleeting moment, a heavy black ancient sword suddenly appeared in Fang Jueyu's hand. When he infused cosmic source power into the sword, the black rust on it suddenly peeled away to reveal an incredibly sharp blade. Clang! Fang Jueyu raised his sword to defend. With a loud crack, the sword in Gogh's hand shattered with sound, and a spray of blood followed as the hand gripping the sword was cleanly sliced off by a sharp sword chi. Holy crap, so sharp! In the past, Fang Jueyu had only considered it a blunt object. Who knew it was an invincible weapon? Gogh suppressed the excruciating pain and retreated dozens of steps, quickly sealing the acupoints on his severed arm. His lips trembled slightly. This sword was the treasure of the Gukeng sword sect, a weapon that had crushed countless others. Yet Fang Jueyu effortlessly broke it. "What sword is this?" Gogh watched Fang Jueyu's ancient sword with trepidation. "Oh, this? It's my ancestral great sword. See how impressive it is now." "Zioyi, just what is the origin of this sword? It's incredibly powerful." He had just given it a light swing, and the sword beam sliced off Gumo's arm along with his sword. If he were fighting barehanded, it wouldn't have been so easy for Fang Jueyu to win. Of course, the artifact refining technique I taught you is nothing like the junk on your Earth, Xiaoyi said proudly. On Earth, weapons are categorized as mundane weapons and innate weapons, but this sword could definitely be considered a divine artifact. If you reach Guya's level, you could slice a mountain in half with a single strike, but for now, you can barely use it. Still, with this sword, you could walk sideways on Earth even if you only had the power of a hidden elementer. Awesome, awesome. Fang Jueyu gently stroked the ancient sword in his hand. Fu Beidai was truly amazing. Even something left behind by their ancestors was full of surprises. After sealing the acupuncture point, Gumo's bleeding stopped gradually. But with true qi leaking and his weapon destroyed, and fearing the divine weapon in Fang Jueyu's hand, he wouldn't dare to make a move. How much more does he have that's hidden? Chen Menghan stared at the severed black treasure sword on the ground. This sword, called the Gogh sword, was a treasure handed down through generations of the Gogh sword sect. A genuine innate weapon, it was notorious in the entire ancient martial world for only breaking others, not being broken itself. Who would have thought it would be destroyed here today? With the Gogh sword destroyed and an arm severed, Gumo's strength decreased by at least 50%. The days ahead for the Gogh sword sect would likely be quite challenging. Old Fang, you okay? I'm fine, these old muggles can't hurt me. So you had a falling out before. Wang Kong sensed some resentment in Fang Jueyu's tone. Yeah, this group somehow got a screw loose, barged into my house demanding some management fee, and even chopped my door to pieces. I'm here to collect on that debt today. Damn, I remember now. Every New Year my dad would meet with some people dressed like charlatans. Could they be the same ones? Wang Kong suddenly recalled something. They probably are. I bet these ancient martial world sects have been collecting protection fees from every notable rich person in Huaxia, but they were out of luck running into me this time. Swoosh, Fang Jueyu thrust the ancient sword into the ground. The rock, hard as it was, got pierced halfway as though it were tofu. He walked forward step by step, a devilish smile crossing his face. This group is done for, Wang Kong covered his eyes. Knowing Fang Jueyu as he did, this expression meant he was up to trouble. Seeing Fang Jueyu approaching, the four elders immediately stood guard in front of Gumo. Hey, your sect leader has already been chopped down by me. Do you think you all could beat me? Fang Jueyu pointed at the ancient sword on the ground. Want to taste a hit from my great sword, too? Stand down. Gumo's face was pale. But as the sect leader, he couldn't just watch his elders die. Given their ability, they couldn't even survive one strike from Fang Jueyu. Today, my Gogh sword sect has fallen. Tell me, what do you want? My sect will bear the consequences, Gumo said with resolve. I told you I'm just here for compensation. Just pay for my labor, emotional damage, and my house door, and that's it, right? Did it need to come to violence? Satisfied now? Fang Jueyu put on an aggrieved expression, as though he were the one who suffered losses today. Someone bring me the checkbook, Gumo heard clearly. Fang Jueyu was just here for money, but he really wanted to swear, wondering how the world's wealthiest man could be missing a mere 3 billion. Sect leader, a disciple handed Gumo a thick stack of checks with a pen. Gumo scribbled a number on the check, then signed his name. Our ancient martial association works with various banks. Any check below $100 million can be cashed immediately. Gumo ripped off 3 checks and handed them to Fang Jueyu. This guy is so shameless, Wang Kong looked disgustedly. Compensation for labor. Wasn't Fang Jueyu full of energy and fighting spirit while crashing some currency market back then? But in this world, the winners write the rules. If Fang Jueyu were weak, he'd probably have just paid that management fee quietly. Now that he won, naturally, he called the shots. Why didn't you just give them to me sooner? Fang Jueyu happily took the 3 checks. Xiaoyi, everything all right? Host, no problem. These 3 checks can be cashed anytime. Good, that's settled. Fang Jueyu stuffed the checks into his pocket. You've got your money, now you can go, right? Gumo said. Yeah, we've settled that old debt. Now it's time to talk about today's bill, Fang Jueyu said. He had realized these ancient martial sects were filthy rich. Even though he was already wealthy, who could dislike having more money? Rich people's money accumulates from stinginess and thrift. Today's bill, Gumo was furious, seeing that Fang Jueyu just wanted to exploit them. Don't go overboard, aren't you afraid of mutual destruction? Mutual destruction. First, you need to see if you have such power, okay? Fang Jueyu laughed. You? Gumo's chest heaved violently, showing his anger, but what Fang Jueyu said was true. Even if the entire Gyuking sword sect was destroyed today, it would hardly hurt Fang Jueyu. Say it, how much do you want? Gumo finally gave up resisting. Isn't it only right for me to collect a debt? You not only didn't compensate me but tried to kill me. I'm a coward with a weak heart. I need to go for a full-body checkup at the hospital later, so the medical fees, nourishment fees, given my net worth, $10 billion isn't too much, right? No problem, bring the checkbook. Gumo sighed. Today was sure to bleed them dry. $10 billion was practically their sect's annual expenditure. There's also... And Gumo was about to cry. Though the Gyuking sword sect was rich, maintaining so many disciples and the Mountain Gate's upkeep consumed astronomical funds annually, they didn't have much cash on hand. I'm asking if you want your arm back. Fang Jueyu pointed at the severed arm. I know some medical skills and can reattach it without any aftereffects. How about that? Really? Gumo's eyes lit up. With medicine so advanced, as long as antiseptic and preservation were done right, a severed arm could indeed be reattached, although less nimble than before. The Gyuking sword sect was Gumo's creation, and he made many enemies. With reduced power, the sect would be on the brink of ruin. Though the Gyuking sword was gone, if Gumo remained strong, the sect wouldn't regress. You're sure you can reattach my arm without any aftereffects? Of course, Fang Jueyu extended his hand. Medical fees $10 billion. Sure, here is the translation. Plain text. 20 minutes later, Gumo looked at his intact arm with an incredibly shocked expression. The severed arm seemed uninjured. The true chi flowed extremely smoothly without the slightest discomfort, and there wasn't a single scar left. Just now, Fang Jueyu had only done a simple treatment on his arm. He just felt a kind of life-filled energy flowing in his arm. The muscles and tendons at the break seemed to be reborn, rapidly growing and healing. He had heard that those Western countries had a very rare kind of superpower user who possessed such a miraculous healing ability. As long as it wasn't the heart or brain, they could heal it. Even if only one breath was left, they could pull a person back from the gates of hell. Could it be that Fang Jueyu possessed superpower abilities while having a strength on par with an innate master? How could such a prodigy exist in the world? This was the wonder of cosmic source power. The energy of those superpower users was mutated cosmic source power. In essence, that miraculous restorative power was a part of the cosmic source power. Fang Jueyu could now manipulate cosmic source power. Naturally, he could use this aspect of it too. Well, we are square. Don't let that damned ancient martial association bother me again, or I'll just lead people to flatten it directly. Fang Jueyu earned over $2 billion from this transaction, which was much more than his usual day's income. If idiots like this came every day to give him money, Fang Jueyu's wealth could even double in no time. The people from the Gyuking sword sect felt as if they were granted amnesty. They quickly picked up their things and left here. They had also come to attend the Chen family master's birthday. Although they encountered some trouble here, the two families had a good relationship, so they couldn't miss it because of this. Old Wang, everybody gets a share, here's half for you. Fang Jueyu tossed him 10 checks. This is your gift money. When you get married, don't come asking me again. Chen Menghen blushed. Couldn't these two talk without considering that she was right next to them? Sure, Boss Fang is generous. Wang Kong accepted those checks without changing his expression. Then I'll be bold and accept. He knew Fang Jueyu didn't lack this bit of money, and besides, this money was taken by force, might as well take it. Wang Kong's own assets combined were less than 20 billion RMB. These $10 billion increased his assets by 50%, and he believed that with his ability, this money would only grow more. The two quickly divided this time's spoils, and then continued to head toward the Chen family. After being delayed for a while, they arrived at the Chen family's gate at around 4. The guests arriving today probably numbered in the thousands, showing just how much influence the Chen family had. Miss, you are back. The Chen family guards at the gate saw her and immediately came forward. The master has been looking for you for a long time. He seems very angry. You'd better go see him. It's all right, I'll go find him now. Ha ha ha, this time I don't believe your dad can throw me out again. Wang Kong straightened his back. He suddenly felt that choosing to get to know Fang Jueyu half a year ago was the most correct decision he'd made. Although the Chen family was an ancient martial family, the buildings were skyscrapers, and most of the family members lived in those buildings. making it look somewhat out of place compared to traditional ancient martial families like the Bai family. Chen Menghen's family lived in the central villa. In terms of building area, this villa was much larger than the one Fang Jueyu had in Jiangnan Biyuan. "Sister Ding, where's my dad?" There was no one in the living room on the first floor of the villa, just someone cleaning. "Miss, the family head is upstairs. I heard that the Sun family people came to propose under the guise of celebrating the family head's birthday. The family head couldn't find you and was very angry. You should quickly go apologize to the family head." "I understand." A displeased expression appeared on Chen Menghen's face. There were three major families in the ancient martial world. The Chen family had 3 innate masters, ranking third. The Huang family of Sichuan ranked second, with 5 innate masters. The Sun family in the north was the strongest, not only with 8 innate experts but also rumored to have an ancestor breaking through to the heavenly realm. Chen Menghen's father, Chen Wei, always hoped to establish a marriage between the Chen and Sun families, believing that with their combined strength, they would become even more powerful. This proposal from the Sun family fit perfectly with Chen Wei's wishes, and he agreed to the marriage without any hesitation. "You wild girl, I've been looking for you all day." At this moment, Chen Menghen's father, Chen Wei, came downstairs, followed by 2 other people, likely her 2 brothers, Chen Yanlin and Chen Yanfei. The siblings got along very well, and Chen Menghen's 2 brothers quickly gave her a look, signaling that Chen Wei was very angry and not to provoke him further. At this time, Chen Wei's gaze fell on Fang Jueyu and Wang Kong standing at the door. He didn't really know Fang Jueyu. At most he looked a bit familiar, but he recognized Wang Kong, even though he hadn't seen him in person. If he wanted Wang Kong's photo, a search on the internet would return plenty. "You dare to bring him here?" Chen Wei's barely suppressed anger flared up uncontrollably again. If the Sun family found out about this, the marriage would likely be off. "Fine, since you've come knocking yourself, let me give you a lesson so you won't dare offend just anyone." Chen Wei leapt down and went straight for Wang Kong. "Come behind me." Fang Jueyu directly pulled Wang Kong behind him. Chen Wei, although the current head of the Chen family, was just over 50 and merely a half-step innate. Boom, the 2 exchanged punches. Fang Jueyu stood his ground like a mountain, not moving an inch, while Chen Wei retreated 3 steps before dissipating the force. "Who are you?" A hint of fear appeared in Chen Wei's eyes. This young man could actually take his punch. He shouldn't be unknown. "Who I am doesn't matter, but Mr. Chen, you didn't even ask about our purpose before rashly attacking us. I'm afraid that's not the way to treat guests, is it?" Fang Jueyu said. "HMPH," Chen Wei snorted coldly. "Speak, why are you here today? Today's my birthday, I don't want trouble." "I'm a friend of Wang Kong. Today, I'm here to accompany him to propose." "To propose? Ha 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 ha." Chen Wei laughed. "What qualifications do you have to propose? Relying on your worldly money. His father, Wang Lin, doesn't earn even 1/10 of my Chen family's yearly income. How can a mere worldly family marry my daughter?" "Just leave. I won't make things difficult for you today. The Sun family has already proposed. I plan to accept their betrothal gift. Don't harbor any vain hopes." "Plan to? So you haven't agreed yet?" Fang Jueyu smiled slightly. "Why doesn't the Chen family head look at our betrothal gifts? Maybe after seeing it, you'll change your mind." From this sentence, Chen Wei sensed something unusual. "Since you possess great skills, you should know about our ancient martial world matters," Chen Wei said. "The Sun family prepared 1,000 first-grade pills, 100 second-grade pills, 10 third-grade pills, 5 volumes of advanced martial arts, plus $10 billion as a betrothal gift. Can you match it?" I thought it'd be a lot more. It's just that little," Fang Jueyu said disdainfully. "Gogh, bring up our betrothal gifts." "What? There's someone else." Chen Wei, as a master on the verge of being an innate master, had senses that were incredibly sharp. If there was anyone lurking nearby, it would not escape his detection. Yet at this moment, besides the family members, he only sensed the presence of Fang Jueyu and Wang Kong. He felt absolutely no other presence, which indicated to him this individual's strength certainly exceeded his own, even reaching beyond the innate level. As a dazzling illusion appeared, a man who looked to be in his 30s or 40s materialized next to Fang Jueyu. Alongside him were several exquisite boxes, each wrapped in high-grade red silk. But the most astonishing thing was that his hands did not make contact with these boxes at all. The boxes were entirely hovering in midair, a feat only achievable by someone with strength beyond the innate level. "Chen family master, Chen Wei, greets the senior." In the ancient martial world, strength was revered, and Chen Wei dared not put on airs as the family head. However, the sullen, expressionless man did not even spare him a glance and instead meekly walked to Fang Jueyu's side, saying, "Young master, I've brought all the items." Young master, Chen Wei was shocked. Hearing this title, this innate expert was merely a subordinate to Fang Jueyu, perhaps even a house servant. Isn't he the world's richest man? How could he possibly have such a background? Even with subordinates who were innate masters, could there possibly be someone at the heavenly human realm behind him? Impossible. No martial artist at the heavenly realm had made their presence known so far. Gu Yi, show the betrothal gifts to the Chen family master, so they won't say we were disrespectful, Fang Jueyu said. Yes, young master. Gu Yi gently raised his hand, and the boxes promptly arranged themselves neatly in front of Chen Wei. With a light flick of his fingers, the silk unraveled, and the lids of the boxes lifted open. In an instant, a rich and refreshing aroma of pills filled the house. Inside the boxes were delicate porcelain bottles. Besides these, there were also 10 thick books. As the head of the Chen family, Chen Wei's insights were naturally incomparable to ordinary people. The contents were undoubtedly all pills. 1,000 second-grade pills, Qi-gathering pills, 104th grade pills, Huajing pills, 55th grade pills, Gang transformation pills, and 10 8th grade pills, innate pills. This is our sincerity, Fang Jueyu said. 8th grade pills. Chen Wei almost tied his mouth into knots. Since the earliest alchemists vanished, it had been hundreds of years since pills above the 5th grade had appeared. Just the appearance of a 5th grade pill would incite a frenzied scramble, let alone an 8th grade pill. Chen Wei even doubted how to assess their authenticity. Chen family master, here are the effects of these pills, please take a look. Fang Jueyu handed over a red note. How the hell did you prepare all this? Wang Kong thought Fang Jueyu carried nothing with him. I'm not telling you, Fang Jueyu laughed. He had long hidden these things in his ring. Huajing pill helps someone at the hidden force peak break through to the force transform within 1 hour, boosting the strength of a hidden force martial artist by 1 to 3 levels in a short time. Gang transformation pill helps someone at the peak of transformation realm break through to the Gangjin within 3 hours, boosting the strength of a transformation realm martial artist by 1 to 3 levels in a short time. Innate pill has an 80% chance to help a martial artist at the peak of Gangjin advance to innate, boosting the strength of a Gangjin martial artist by 1 to 3 levels in a short time. Reading over the effects of these pills, Chen Wei's hand holding the betrothal note trembled slightly. These pills were enough to create a peak-level family. The entire Chen family, including Chen Wei, had more than 20 martial artists at the peak of Gangjin. These 10 innate pills were essentially like gifting the Chen family 10 innate experts. By the way, was there news that some ancestor of the Sun family might break through to the heavenly realm? Fang Jueyu had just heard about the Sun family's matters from Chen Menghen. Then I will also gift you a master of the heavenly realm. The heavenly realm was equivalent to an intermediate stage among hidden elementers. Among the pills left to him by a Fang Jueyu ancestor were plenty that could help boost their strength. As if performing magic, a golden pill suddenly appeared in Fang Jueyu's hand, which he tossed to Chen Wei. Chen family master, this is a 9th grade hidden essence pill. Within a few years, it will be enough for an innate martial artist to advance to what's known as your heavenly realm. What? Chen Wei barely caught the pill in his hand. A 9th grade pill, almost worthy of being called an immortal pill, could create a heavenly realm master. If this news spread, it would definitely cause a fierce and bloody storm in the Chen family, with innate experts killing each other over it. Aren't you afraid I might pocket these pills for myself? Chen Wei asked. You wouldn't dare, nor do you have the ability. With Gu Yi by his side, Fang Jueyu's confidence was almost overwhelming. May I ask where these pills are sourced from? They're from my master, Fang Jueyu casually said. Recently, my master came to visit me in the secular world. It so happened that Wang Kong was visiting my home. Seeing Wang Kong's exceptional talent, he took him as a disciple. Today, I am here on behalf of my master's command to propose for my junior brother. Oh, and there are those 10 books, which contain 10 high-level martial arts, including swordsmanship, boxing, and palm techniques, all 7th grade and above. This kid is a hell of a liar. Wang Kong nearly burst out laughing on the side, amused by the fabrication of a non-existent master. This kid has exceptional talent. Chen Wei sized up Wang Kong repeatedly. He seemed ordinary in every way. At his age, his starting point was far behind others. How could he achieve great success? But Chen Wei had no doubt about the teacher behind Fang Jueyu. Without an unimaginably powerful teacher, how could someone so young become a master on the verge of innate? How could he produce so many advanced pills and martial arts? My master said, with Wang Kong's talent, within 1 to 2 years, he can become innate, reach heavenly in 3 years, achieve a divinity transformation in 5 years, and break through to the God transformation realm within 20 years with ease. Sweat was visibly forming on Chen Wei's forehead. In a world where a strong person with divinity transformation was unheard of, attaining the God transformation realm in 20 years seemed like utter nonsense. Oh, by the way, you may not believe me when I say I haven't even been cultivating for half a year. Although my junior brother Wang Kong's talent is slightly less than mine, he's still a genius. Fang Jueyu continued to bluff. As long as he joined the Super God Academy and had enough pills, even a pig could be raised to innate. May I ask, what is the respectable master's realm? Chen Wei cupped his hands courteously. I don't know, but even my guard Gu Yi is at the divinity transformation realm. Gu Yi, show Chen family master some flying skills. Yes, young master. Gu Yi felt like he had become a performing acrobat these days. When Gu Yi hovered in midair, Chen Wei's mental defenses were completely shattered. Divinity transformation, truly a master of divinity transformation. Chen Wei nearly knelt before Gu Yi. If even a guard was at the divinity transformation realm, just how terrifying was Fang Jueyu's master? What realm was he at? Saint level. Suddenly, he looked at Wang Kong with eyes full of intense fervor. Compared to the Sun family, Wang Kong's potential was 1,000 times greater. Marry, my daughter must marry him. This opportunity won't come again. I must seize it, even if it means offending the Sun family. Damn, your dad's really been conned by Fang Jueyu. Seeing Chen Wei's expression, Wang Kong knew that now there was no longer any obstacle between him and Chen Menghen. Hey, it seems the Chen family head still looks down on my junior brother, so we won't disturb you anymore. Fang Jueyu pretended to be disappointed as he shook his head. Gu Yi, pack up the stuff, let's go back. Wait. At this moment, Chen Wei couldn't afford to continue putting on airs. His previously gloomy expression instantly became radiant, with a smile that creased his entire face. Missing this opportunity would mean lifelong regret, not just for Chen Wei himself, but even his elders would have him beaten. This matter can be negotiated, it can be negotiated. Chen Wei hurriedly rushed to block the door. I was hasty in my considerations. I haven't even agreed to the Sun family. I think Menghen and Wang Kong being together is what's best for her. Chen Wei managed to speak such shameless words without blushing or feeling guilty. Compared to the resources in question, one's pride was nothing. The dowry offered by Fang Jueyu was leagues above what the Sun family proposed, even multiplied tenfold. It couldn't match the value of a single hidden essence pill. Having such a son-in-law would mean an endless supply of resources for the Chen family, wouldn't it? Their mysterious master offering so much for a marriage proposal clearly showed Wang Kong's important position in his heart. Wang Kong came from an ordinary commercial family and held no ties with any family or sect. If his daughter married him, he'd be considered half of the Chen family himself. If things went as Fang Jueyu said, in a few years, the Chen family could have an additional master at the heavenly human realm, divinity transformation realm, or even the mythical realm. The Chen family could then secure its place as the leading family and perhaps carry on for generations. The Chen family head still needs to consider. It seems our sincerity is lacking. Fang Jueyu shook his head lamentably. Wang Kong, let's go. Senior brother knows a few young ladies from the ancient martial families. He'll introduce you then. Fang Jueyu's performance was so convincing, he nearly dragged Wang Kong with him, while Gu Yi cooperated by packing up the dowry gifts, seemingly determined to leave. Consider, when did I ever say I needed to consider? Chen Wei was shamelessly desperate. Someone help me prepare the dowry. Hey, Chen family head, don't be so hasty, don't be so hasty. Fang Jueyu nearly burst into laughter on hearing this. It was as if he were afraid the deal wouldn't go through. These two have only known each other for a month. Young people in relationships, sudden marriages are rare. Everyone should still spend more time getting to know each other. Fang Jueyu took on the guise of being Wang Kong's elder. We're offering this dowry as a guarantee that you won't interfere with their relationship. Nowadays, everyone advocates for free love. Why should parents meddle? Wouldn't you agree? Yes. As long as Menghen likes him, I won't interfere anymore. Chen Wei's shameless behavior made his two sons' faces flush with embarrassment. But who could resist such a generous dowry? Even someone else might be more practical than Chen Wei in this situation. His daughter liked him, and the other party was so generous. There was even a mysterious, exceptionally skilled master behind him. Could there be anything more perfect in this world? Today, I'll find an opportunity to turn down the Sun family, Chen Wei promised. This dowry. This was sent by my master for my junior brother, and since the Chen family head has no objections, please accept it. Great, great. Chen Wei's smile was as bright as a flower. Lin or Fair, make sure to put these things away safely and go get your grandfather and great-grandfather. Have them handle the distribution. Do not let this leak, or family law will be enforced. Got it, Dad. Chen Menghen's two brothers quickly left the villa with several boxes. Wang Kong, don't mind my dad, he's a bit. At this point, Chen Menghen wished she could find a hole to crawl into. Chen Wei's behavior today was utterly embarrassing. Come, let's go. Today, I'll take advantage of my birthday to announce your relationship. Just days ago, he had someone beat up Wang Kong, yet now he treated Wang Kong like a second son. Truly, money makes the world go around. Hey, old Fang, you really exaggerated. I've only learned Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu since I was a child, nothing else. What's this about innate martial artists or heavenly human realm? I don't understand any of it. If he investigates this in a few years, how will I cover it up? While Wang Kong was pleased with Chen Wei's approval, a hint of worry lingered in his mind. Who said I exaggerated? When have I ever bragged? If I can't do it, I won't say anything, but if I do, I'll definitely get it done. An innate martial artist. I can get you there in a year, Fang Jueyu whispered. Really? Wang Kong's eyes widened. Do you think I'd deceive you? Fang Jueyu said mysteriously. Honestly, I inherited a school from my dad. This school teaches everything. Just half a year ago, I was still an ordinary person. Holy cow, you own a psychiatric hospital and a school. You've truly embraced the role of director. Ha ha ha, I'll take you there in a few days along with your girlfriend. She's almost ready for a force transform, and in about half a year she should reach the innate level. Then, your father-in-law won't doubt anything. Really? Chen Menghen was almost stunned. It seemed each sentence from Fang Jueyu challenged her worldview of the past 20 years. No, when she first saw Fang Jueyu feeding precious pills to his dog, her worldview had already collapsed. What kind of tycoon was this? He was a super tycoon. But there's one thing. You can't reveal what you learned there to anyone besides those in the school. Don't worry, I'm tight-lipped. Bullshit, you're the one I trust the least. Relaxing his mood, Fang Jueyu casually bickered with Wang Kong. Following Chen Wei, the three of them arrived at the birthday banquet venue. Seeing Chen Wei's arrival, many stood up to congratulate him. Thank you all for coming. Chen Wei's face was radiant. I am grateful for your presence at my 50th birthday celebration. I know many of you have come from afar, so please enjoy yourselves today. Moreover, I'd like to take this opportunity to announce something. Chen Wei led Chen Menghen with one hand and Wang Kong with the other, bringing them to his side. I'd like to introduce my future son-in-law from the Chen family, Wang Kong from the Bader group. What, why him? This is odd. How could Chen Wei marry his daughter to the son of a mundane businessman? Could it be true? I just saw the Sun family delivering a dowry today, and now the Sun family looks utterly disgraced. Has the Chen family head gone mad? Is he determined to offend the Sun family to such an extent? Chen Wei, didn't you just say you would consider it? We've already sent the dowry, yet you show no regard for the Sun family. Inevitably, upon hearing the news, the Sun family couldn't hold their temper, and the atmosphere at the scene suddenly turned tense. The current head of the Sun family, although not much older than Chen Wei, had already become an innate master. Even though Chen Wei had not yet reached that level, the Chen family had deep roots, and within a few years, it was highly likely that Chen Wei would also break through. Thus, he had come today as a gesture of respect. Sun Bo had a young son named Sun Yi who was 23 years old, roughly the same age as Chen Wei's daughter. Earlier, he had already discussed a marriage alliance between the two families with Chen Wei. Although Chen Wei verbally said he would think about it, it was clear that Chen Wei was very pleased. The reason he hadn't directly agreed was that he was maintaining decorum. After all, marrying off one's daughter is not a decision made lightly. However, he believed that with the Sun family's background, Chen Wei would surely marry his daughter to his son, Sun Yi. Yet, out of nowhere, a Cheng Yaojin had appeared unexpectedly, and he was a young man from a family of secular businessmen, which made it unbearable for him. Brother Sun, don't be angry, Chen Wei, although not afraid of Sun Bo causing trouble here, thought it was best not to damage the relationship between the two families if possible. Brother Sun, when you brought this up earlier, I only said I would consider it. Marriage is not child's play. Earlier, I asked Menghan for her opinion, but I didn't expect that she already likes someone. As parents, don't we just want our children to be happy? It's not the era of parental orders and arranged marriages anymore. Young people should be allowed to decide for themselves. Chen Wei's words were indeed quite skillful, and no one could find fault with what he said. I'll have someone return all those betrothal gifts, and I hope Brother Sun will understand. Although the betrothal gifts from the Sun family were substantial, compared to those from Wang Kong and his group, they were like trash. Returning these gifts did not cause Chen Wei any heartache at all. Fine, fine. Sun Bo's chest heaved up and down, clearly suppressing his anger. Yet in such a public setting he couldn't afford to lose his composure. However, having the betrothal gifts returned and the marriage proposal rejected was a significant loss of face for anyone, especially being part of the first family in the Huaxia ancient martial world. If this matter spread, it would surely be a subject of ridicule. Chen Wei, since you think this young man is so good, he must have something exceptional about him, right? Why don't you tell us about it? Let us meet your future son-in-law. Chen Wei was momentarily at a loss for words. What merits did Wang Kong have? Besides engaging in online spats and constantly changing social media influencers as girlfriends and having a bit of money, he had no notable merits. He even had people beat him up not long ago. Damn, this guy is intentionally causing trouble out of dissatisfaction. Fang Jueyu was already waiting to eat, and the cheerful occasion was being ruined by this stubborn old man. Hey, old man, it's their choice not to marry their daughter to your family. Why are you complaining? It's not like you're the one marrying off a daughter. Why so much nonsense? Fang Jueyu walked directly over to stand beside Wang Kong. It's him. The few people from the Gogh sword sect sitting at one of the tables trembled all over. They had just suffered at the hands of Fang Jueyu and had been extorted for over $2 billion. Seeing him was like seeing a bringer of doom. Sun Bo is going to be in trouble today, Gogh said. Although Sun Bo was also an innate martial artist, he had only recently reached that level, and his strength was significantly different from Gog's. If he provoked Fang Jueyu and he drew that sword, he might not leave intact. It's him, that young man from the Bai family. There were a few attendees at the birthday banquet who had also been present at Bai Ruhai's 80th birthday and witnessed the incident that happened in the combat arena. This young man possessed exceptional skills, and his personal level was not inferior to an innate martial artist. Not to mention, he also had a mythical realm protector. If Sun Bo got into a confrontation with him today, he would undoubtedly suffer. Good brother, Wang Kong had been so embarrassed that he didn't know where to place his hands and feet. Who are you? Everyone knew Sun Bo was merely dissatisfied and overly concerned with face, but no one dared to point at him and speak such words. Are there still people who don't watch the news these days, don't even know me? Fang Jueyu smirked, as if someone were asking who Bill Gates was and they didn't know. Did your village just get internet access? Outrageous, what an arrogant young man. Being chastised like that, Sun Bo suddenly felt his old face hard to maintain. I'm talking about you. Fang Jueyu began to speak brashly. What does their love affair have to do with you, eh? Now they've said they'll marry the daughter to my friend and you're still sour about it. Were you a lemon in your past life? You're courting death. Sun Bo's face darkened immediately as he looked at Chen Wei. Brother Chen, it is your birthday today, and I shouldn't make a scene, but this brat is too presumptuous. If I don't kill him, what face will our Sun family have to stand in the ancient martial world in the future? Brother Sun, go ahead. Chen Wei had no intention of stopping him. If he wanted to kill Fang Jueyu, he better have the ability to do so. A flash of confusion crossed Sun Bo's face. If someone died at this birthday banquet, it wouldn't bode well. Moreover, the incident occurred in the Chen family, almost like a slap to the Chen family's face. Why did Chen Wei appear so indifferent? Could there be something fishy? Sun Bo instinctively sensed something amiss, but he felt no threat, as if it were just his imagination. Die! Sun Bo leaped from his seat, reaching out to grab Fang Jueyu's throat with one swift move, attempting to end his life in one stroke. Alas, I dislike seeing blood. Why is it that people always force me to do things I don't want to do? Fang Jueyu sighed and shook his head. I've been in too many fights recently, don't feel like doing it myself. Gu Yi, it's up to you. Yes, young master, should I kill him? Gouye's voice sounded by Fang Jueyu's ear. No need to kill him, just beat him within an inch of his life and throw him out. Yes. Just as Sun Bo's hand was about to crush Fang Jueyu's throat, a towering man suddenly stood in front of Fang Jueyu. His expression was icy, his aura completely restrained, making it impossible to gauge his strength. Indeed, the mythical realm master has always been protecting him. This is the end for Sun Bo. Sai, the world now has another scourge. When we return, we must tell the disciples not to provoke this person. Slap, Gouye caught Sun Bo's wrist in his grip. Sun Bo's expression panicked. He had not seen how this person appeared, but his hand, like a clamp, was impossible to shake off no matter how hard he struggled. Who are you? The young master ordered me to beat you half to death and throw you out. Gouye's expression didn't change at all as he delivered a seemingly casual punch to Sun Bo's chest. At that moment, countless currents seemed to surge into his body, wreaking havoc on his meridians. Even if he could be healed, he would likely fall below the innate level. Sun Bo spat out a mouthful of blood, but even before the blood reached Gouye's body, it was evaporated by an unknown heat. Gouye picked Sun Bo up by the collar like he was trash, gradually lifting him into the sky, and tossed him over the Chen family compound wall. The entire venue fell silent. With Fang Jueyu's intervention, the matter between Wang Kong and Chen Menghen naturally reached a conclusion, and with Gouye's appearance, his story would likely spread throughout the ancient martial world from now on. Fang Jueyu did not stay for the entire banquet before leaving. He originally came just to lend Wang Kong some prestige. Since the matters here were resolved, he had no reason to stay, as he really didn't want to get entangled with this circle too much. The ancient martial association needs to be reformed. These were Fang Jueyu's last words before leaving. Everyone who heard them shuddered because they knew full well how many hypocritical things the ancient martial association had done under their name. At night, after an intense session, Guo Xinyu, exhausted, fell into a deep sleep. Although she had also reached the level of force transform, her physique was still quite lacking compared to the almost hidden elementer, Fang Jueyu, and she really couldn't withstand his exertions. As usual, Fang Jueyu still practiced the potential guiding technique instead of regular sleep. After nearly 5 months of accumulation, he felt like a bottle about to overflow, and at that moment the bottle was finally filled. An indescribable sense of comfort spread throughout his body, as if every cell was undergoing transformation. Ever since he first received initial gene optimization from Little Yi, his genes finally began to transcend further. It was almost exactly like the last time, but besides that, there was a strange feeling, like something dormant within him had fully awakened, as if a group of beasts were rampaging and roaring inside his body. Woof! Gouzi, sleeping in a luxurious doghouse by the villa, suddenly opened its eyes, displaying a human-like expression, staring in the direction of Fang Jueyu's room with its hair standing on end. Little Yi, what's happening? Why do I feel a force about to burst out of my body? Fang Jueyu's blood was boiling, and it seemed like his body had become a bomb ready to explode at any moment. Host, the potential guiding technique triggers the potential within your body to change your life's level. The moment you step into hidden elementer status, all your potential will burst forth in the form of energy to help you complete the final life leap. You need to find a place without people, or else the entire Jiangnan estate will be razed to the ground. You should have told me sooner. Fang Jueyu quickly grabbed any piece of clothing to drape over himself, opened the window, leaped out, and turned into a dark shadow heading toward Antyan Peak, as Super God Academy was the safest place. Woof woof woof! Gouzi followed closely, keeping pace perfectly with Fang Jueyu's inconceivable speed. Gu Yi, who had always guarded Fang Jueyu's side, immediately set out as well. He knew Fang Jueyu was about to break through to become a hidden elementer, and at this moment, he couldn't be disturbed by any outside environment. Gu Yi, guard here. Gouzi, thanks to its bloodline contract with Fang Jueyu and the insignia it got from him, could freely enter and exit Super God Academy. In an instant, both human and dog disappeared on the mountaintop. What kind of place is this? Although Gu Yi wouldn't take the initiative to ask Fang Jueyu or check Gu Yi, he was curious. It took less than half a year for Fang Jueyu to reach the brink of becoming an hidden elementer. This stone monument must hold secrets. Dean, why are you coming to the school so late today? The sweeping monk greeted with his usual smile. Master, don't disturb me. I need a quiet place I'm about to break through. "Oh, that's great news," the sweeping monk said. "Dean, go to the school's gymnasium." "Got it." Fang Jueyu jumped directly into a light circle. "Guzi, go play with the heavenly barking dog. Stop just eating all the time. Learn something once in a while." "Woof," Guzi barked, indicating it understood, then jumped into another light circle. "All right, just endure it here. This is even more torturous than holding back a poo." The force that made Fang Jueyu feel entirely flushed, as though even his blood was about to boil, was about to explode if not released. The moment he relinquished control over this power, a force seemingly from the distant stars engulfed him completely. In the vast starry sky, a golden light surrounded him, and every genetic fragment of his body began to transcend. This golden light was a cosmic energy visible to the naked eye. This breakthrough allowed the cosmic energy to perfectly strengthen his body, and from now on, he became a higher life form beyond humanity. This was why the power of hidden elementers far surpassed that of so-called ancient martial arts masters or those superpower users. No matter how strong they were, they remained ordinary humans, but the potential guiding technique helped Fang Jueyu's genes to evolve over the span of millions of years in a short time, marking a fundamental difference in life essence. At this time, many students Fang Jueyu recruited to the academy still trained here. They were now entirely capable of using cultivation methods to replace sleep, particularly those from ancient martial families, who were even more diligent. At this moment, the school's teachers and students all saw that golden light, a scene resembling a miracle. What is that golden light? Is Sun Wukong transforming into a Super Saiyan and dueling with other teachers again? No, it's not Teacher Sun. This aura seems to belong to the Dean. The Dean is here. Oh, the Dean? Then that explains it. The Dean's cultivation speed is too fast. In just a few months he has become a hidden elementer. Who says otherwise? The Dean's potential guiding technique is much more advanced than the school's, and the baptism of cosmic energy from his breakthrough is more than 10 times more terrifying than that of ordinary hidden elementers. No one knew how long it took, but the golden light finally faded away. The boy in a vest, shorts, and flip-flops stood in place, touching every inch of his skin with disbelief. So powerful, so unbelievable. Is this what a hidden elementer is? Fang Jueyu extended a hand, and the cosmic energy in his palm sometimes turned into flames, sometimes into lightning, and at other times into a green light full of vibrant life energy. The biological current in his body had been entirely replaced by cosmic energy, and each cell had become strong and resilient. More importantly, he felt an earth-shattering change had occurred deep within his genes. It was a change in his aura. Money, power, and influence can make one feel superior, but humans are still humans. But now, even if Fang Jueyu stood arrogantly before someone else, they wouldn't feel a bit uncomfortable. It seemed perfectly normal. Congratulations, host, you are now a hidden elementer. But don't get too smug, hidden elementer is just the starting point. The former host is probably about to break through to become a divine ability user. Ha ha ha, I've finally mastered peerless martial arts. Not a word of what little Yi said registered with Fang Jueyu as a voice, reminiscent of a middle school syndrome, echoed across the playground. Shut up, are you insane? Don't you care about saving face? Huaxia's desertification control technology has made a major breakthrough, and the trial site in the Taklamakan Desert already showed significant results, with over 10 square kilometers successfully transformed. Humanity will conquer the desert. This technology is of great importance for the survival and development of mankind. After nearly half a year's work, thanks to Fang Jueyu's plant gene modification and substantial financial investment, the Taklamakan saw a perfect improvement over 10 square kilometers in the first phase of the trial. The loose sandy land had turned into solid, thick, and extremely fertile soil. By the time the country showcased this achievement, it had already developed into an ancient-style tourist town. As for how this town was built, it was naturally Fang Jueyu who took the credit. These structures were all wooden houses with brick and tile structures, which took very little time to construct. With heavy investment, the town took shape in less than a month. This project had always been carried out in secret by the state, with the surrounding areas designated as a military-restricted zone, only recently being fully opened, and photos of it appeared online for the first time. Wooten City, why does this name sound so familiar? I think I saw it somewhere. Check out Battle Through the Heavens above. Oh my God, whose masterpiece is this? The government. I can't believe the government put in so much effort to tame this desert and then built such a place. Could it be for a theme park to develop tourism? Once the desert is harnessed, it surely needs development. First develop tourism, and once there's money, you can build a city nearby. It's a solid plan. I don't think so. Could it be a film crew wants to remake it? The first remake was a disaster, and now they're increasing the budget. Hello everyone, now I'm being chased by a Du Emperor, but his horse isn't as fast as mine. In just a few hours, this topic was abuzz, with everyone curious about Wooten City suddenly appearing in the desert, but there was no official explanation. It was at this moment that Fang Jueyu updated his social media. Dear friends, the large-scale fantasy TV series Battle Through the Heavens will begin filming at this location. I have invested $100 billion to assist the country in reclaiming this desert, gaining the right to use 50 square kilometers. From today, a certain proportion of this novel's world will be presented in this desert. This work is funded by me and Wang Kong, with many talented actors joining us. We will invest heavily in the special effects team. There will absolutely be no scenes with Du sect experts riding horses. At the same time, Wang Kong and all the lead actors posted similar updates. 100 billion. Dean, I'm going to tear up the Forbes list for you right now. 100 billion to reclaim the country's desert just for filming a movie. I'm sorry, this is beyond my knowledge. Dean, exactly how much money do you have? My roommate wants to know that question before he dies. This spending is truly sincere. With such words, Dean, I'll definitely show up in theaters. I'm down on my knees, Dean. Need any actors, the kind for extras? Everyone sit down. These are just the Dean's basic operations. Are you kidding? Internationally, the Dean needs to earn money by filming TV shows. I think he just has too much money and nowhere to spend it. Count me in above. We can't comprehend the world of the rich. Regardless, Fang Jueyu's action of throwing money immediately won the praise of netizens. To say nothing else, just the fact that this 100 billion was used for the national desert reclamation as research funding was beyond criticism. As for that piece of land, it was originally a useless desert wasteland, and now since someone spent money to reclaim it, was it a problem to borrow it for some use? Moreover, it also stimulated local economic development. Not bad, not bad, the publicity effect is excellent. The filming plan was about to begin, and this part had always been Wang Kong's responsibility, so Fang Jueyu made a call to check on the progress. Come on, Mr. Fang, can't you just send a WeChat message? When do I not reply to your messages instantly? Wang Kong's voice came from the other end, full of grievance. No way, is it almost noon and you're still working? Fang Jueyu showed a mischievous smile. Ever since he got together with Chen Menghen, he really became a friend who valued romance over friendship. No way, Wang Kong said helplessly. I haven't even touched her, okay? Menghen said that until I can beat her, she'll do whatever I say. Otherwise, we have to wait until after marriage. Ha ha ha, Fang Jueyu laughed until he fell back. Though the two of them were now at the Super God Academy, Chen Menghen was innately at a higher level than Wang Kong. Unless Fang Jueyu secretly gave him some help, it was impossible for him to beat Chen Menghen. All right, I'll sneak you some advanced pills, and you'll surpass her in just a few months. Haha, you're reliable, Wang Kong finally laughed. So what's up? The issue with the site has been resolved. Our filming should almost be starting. Are you all set on your end? Yeah, no problem with the actors, it's just... Wang Kong hesitated. Didn't I hire a special effects team from Hollywood last year? They quit. What, they quit? What's going on? Fang Jueyu frowned. Isn't it because they're making the new Marvel movie? Wang Kong complained. All the teams were called back. They've been freeloading in Huaxia for a year, and now they're just leaving without a word. It's infuriating. This kind of thing, didn't you sign them for a 2-year contract? Did they pay the penalty? Don't get me started, Wang Kong fumed. They said the contract stated they came to Huaxia to assist our crew with special effects processing, but since we weren't starting production in almost a year, it violated our initial agreement, so it was us breaching the contract first. There's nothing in the agreement specifying a start date, and they were getting paid anyway. They're really just being picky. Good one, another case of the villain suing first. Fang Jueyu laughed coldly, taking money and vacationing in Huaxia for a year, then leaving and biting back. Do they think Huaxia people are fools? What did their agency say? They said it's the headquarters order. I even contacted their headquarters, but they won't even take my calls. Heh, Looks like they're forcing me to take action. Ever since completing the first stage authority mission, Fang Jueyu hadn't splurged in a while. Looks like I need to leave a legend of mine abroad too. Old Fang, what are you going to do? Buy Hollywood? Knowing Fang Jueyu's immense financial power, Wang Kong wasn't worried he would suffer. Hollywood should be the one worrying. Buying them would cost money, and that money would end up in their country. I'm not that foolish. Fang Jueyu sneered. Hollywood's international film fashion industry has been developing for so long. I think it's time this industry segment shifts to Huaxia, don't you think? Hollywood was not only the birthplace of global fashion, but also the hub of the global music and film industry, boasting world-class entertainment industries and luxury brands, and representing the pinnacle of global fashion. Warner Brothers Company, MGM Pictures, and Disney Pictures were among Hollywood's most famous film companies. Many years ago, these companies competed fiercely, almost creating a scenario of tripartite dominance. But just 2 years ago, a business genius named Brella Mitchell emerged, and with a small team, unexpectedly formed a Hollywood alliance among these rival companies. After resource integration and sharing, the film and fashion industries in Hollywood became even more formidable, reaching an unshakable status worldwide. As the first chairman of the Federation, Brella had significant authority. Hollywood's global success in cinema was inseparable from these powerful special effects teams. Brella then directly established a special effects company, integrating all the special effects teams, which was akin to holding the vital lifeblood of almost all film companies. Fang Jueyu looked at the materials Zhuang Ying handed over, lost in thought. He indeed wasn't very knowledgeable about various industries, nor was he aware of such an outstanding business genius in the world. If this trend continued, Brella Mitchell would soon launch a fierce assault on the top spots of the global Forbes list. Zioing, what did Mr. Brella say about my invitation to dinner? Actually, Fang Jueyu didn't much like troublesome matters because whenever he acted, it would be earth-shaking. When it came to matters involving special effects teams, if Fang Jueyu could directly connect with Brella, it should be easily resolved, right? After all, as the world's richest man, he still had some influence. Young master, Mr. Brella said he's busy preparing for the new film recently and can't find the time. He just doesn't want to see me. Fang Jueyu didn't even need to think about it to understand what this statement meant from a businessman's perspective. Did you mention anything about the special effects team? Yes, I did, but they said it was the head office's decision. The scale and investment of this film are unprecedented, and all special effects teams need to participate in its production. As for their breach of contract, they still blame it on our delay in starting production. HMPH, a few million US dollars in breach fees, of course. They'd try every means to evade it, Fang Jueyu sneered. In history, films with investments exceeding 100 million US dollars were scarce. If they paid out those several million in breach fees, wouldn't they be heartbroken? Young master, we could use a lawsuit. Given their breach behavior, our chances of winning are high. Should I make arrangements? No need. We Huaxia people aren't that easy to bully, and our money is that easy to earn. Fang Jueyu's invitation for dinner with Brella wasn't an admission of weakness, but a final chance he wanted to offer. However, it seemed he didn't appreciate it. Young master, attacking their industry isn't an easy matter, Zhuang Ying said. Hollywood's market value is just a few hundred billion US dollars. Acquiring them is easy, but you said none of this money, even if wasted, should go to them, so that route won't work. Exactly, Fang Jueyu nodded. In that case, another way is to suppress their industry in Huaxia. Recently, many Hollywood films have been released in Huaxia. The best approach is to buy out all the cinema chains and refuse to show their films. I was thinking the same. The Huaxia film market held a significant share globally. Missing this part would mean huge losses for them, and some underperforming films wouldn't even recoup their costs. Although Fang Jueyu hadn't dabbled in the entertainment industry, he still owned quite a number of cinema chains, directly or indirectly owning almost half of the chains across Huaxia. As long as he didn't want to show them, Hollywood films wouldn't be shown in this half of the cinemas. As for the other half, Wang Kong's family, Beta, controlled a large portion. As long as Fang Jueyu compensated them for this portion, given his relationship with Wang Kong, this wouldn't be an issue at all. For the remaining small cinemas, even buying them wouldn't take much effort. In this way, Fang Jueyu would be at a loss, but Hollywood would suffer a severe blow. The key was that Fang Jueyu wasn't afraid of losing money, as his funds were practically bottomless, an endless pit of financial resources. Such ruthless actions weren't beyond him. As for Hollywood, though they might not face major issues for a while, losing the Huaxia market would quickly spell trouble for them. But young master, have you considered that many film companies have great influence in Huaxia? Think about Marvel and DC's superhero series. If their films were banned, people would undoubtedly loudly protest. And all those peripheral industries, they are all money-making tools for them, making it tough for us to fully restrict them. Fang Jueyu rubbed his temples. This indeed was a tricky issue. He couldn't possibly antagonize all Huaxia film fans, could he? By then, his Weibo might get flooded by a torrent of fans. To be honest, in recent years, Western countries, cultural exports to Huaxia had been excessive. It seems this is turning into a cultural battle, Fang Jueyu mused aloud. First, help me buy all the cinema chains I can't already control, no matter how much it costs. Fang Jueyu ordered. They expect to earn big from this new film, so let's make their investments go down the drain. Young master, what do you plan to do? Simple, as long as our films are better than theirs, audiences will naturally abandon their films and turn to our domestic ones. Don't we have many excellent IPs in Huaxia? But we don't have such strong special effects teams as they do. Even with large investments, it's tough to reach their level. We might not have had them before, but now we do, Fang Jueyu stated. I have one of the world's strongest special effects teams, unmatched. Really? Zhuang Ying, who had been helping manage the Fang family's industries for so long, had no idea they had such a special effects team. That's not your concern. Just do as I say, acquire the cinema chains first. When our first film confronts theirs, we'll crush them technically and in the marketplace. Yes, young master, I understand. Also, how many high-end electronic equipment factories do we have in Huaxia? Young master, the 3 largest in the country are ours. Allocate a portion of the production lines for me. I want to upgrade all the cinemas in our chains. Are you turning them all into IMAX theaters? Zhuang Ying guessed. No, I'm outfitting them all with VR equipment. I want to convert all my cinemas into VR cinemas. Fang Jueyu smiled. Within a year, I want Hollywood films to be so unattractive in Huaxia that even if they're free, nobody will watch them. A plan's outline had already formed in Fang Jueyu's mind. It had to be said that, after becoming a hidden elementer, even the structure of his brain seemed to have changed. His level of mental activity was far beyond what it used to be. Hey, Wang Kong, I have a business deal to discuss with you, Fang Jueyu said directly after dialing Wang Kong's number. You want to do business with me? Wang Kong responded in a tone of disbelief. Although their family's Badar group definitely had some reputation, it was still his father Wang Lin's property. Anyone seeking a deal should approach Wang Lin, so why was Jueyu reaching out to him? Moreover, if Fang Jueyu wanted to do business, who dared not to do business with him? If he wanted to buy the entire Badar, it would probably only amount to a fraction of his fortune. He certainly didn't need this kind of negotiating tone. I heard your dad has already handed Badar Film over to you for management, right? Yeah, so what? Are you planning to buy up all the theaters in Huaxia to block Hollywood films? Wang Kong seemed to have guessed part of Fang Jueyu's intention. Of course, but you also know, given the craze for Hollywood films, even if we could completely block them in the theaters, we'd likely face strong public opposition. Their cultural export is indeed quite formidable. So what are you planning to do? Wang Kong asked. Knowing Fang Jueyu's personality, he must have had a plan before coming to him. We must take action against them, but before that, we need to do some preparatory work to make the public willingly resist their films. That won't be easy. Most of the funds in domestic films are used to hire actors, and those without any acting skills are just traffic stars. The special effects are awfully weak, and there's nothing outstanding to compete against or resist them with. That's only in the past. Is it still difficult to produce powerful sci-fi, fantasy, or magical works now? Fang Jueyu smiled. Don't forget we have a group of teachers, and if we let them be the actors, who need special effects? Right, Wang Kong slapped his forehead, realizing what he had forgotten. He still remembered his first time entering the Super God Academy with Chen Menghen. The teachers were about to display their skills to win them over, ending up in an epic battle. The scene was nothing short of apocalyptic. Weren't they planning to shoot Fighter Breaks the Sky? The academy had a teacher named Zhao Yan, who could casually control a blaze of abnormal fire, creating apocalyptic scenes. And there was Lin Dong's great wilderness prison Skyfinger. No matter how strong the special effects were, they couldn't replicate that kind of feeling. What nonsense Hollywood team, no matter how realistic the effects might be, could captivate like real battle scenes? They didn't even need any special effects teams. We can actually have the current actors finish filming the other parts of the storyline first, and as for the battle parts, let the teachers from the school take on those roles directly. They are highly intelligent robots, with appearances that can change at will, comparable to advanced stunt doubles. Ha ha ha, how foolish of me to forget what special effects team. In the face of genuine epic battle scenes, they're merely clouds. Our fighting kings can truly wings of chi. So, what exactly did you call me for? You can achieve all this on your own, can't you? There's one crucial factor. Even with the most epic scenes, it's not enough to win over the audience. I want to create an immersive experience. You mean transform the visual experience in cinemas? Exactly. Remember the VR technology game that Ma Teng and I launched? Fang Jueyu said. I plan to apply it to cinemas. This way, the audience's viewing experience will be revolutionary. If they get accustomed to this kind of engaging film, will they still go back to Hollywood? Ha 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 ha, right. That's why they say monopolies are the most profitable. We completely monopolize this technology. Wang Kong laughed, as though foreseeing a future where Hollywood films launched with no audience. But it won't be cheap, right? Yeah, although it doesn't require as complex equipment as games, each seat in a theater might require an additional 1,000 in cost. Considering an average theater has 1,000 seats, that's an investment of 1 million. Fang Jueyu continued. There are now about 90,000 cinemas in Huaxia, which totals up to around 90 billion. You bastard are insanely wealthy. Casually tossing out a figure of 90 billion, Hollywood won't even imagine they're up against someone who treats money as nothing, haha. Transforming Badar film is up to me too. Common movies can't adapt to the VR equipment. Only films made by my company can. What, you have a film company too? Wang Kong remembered Fang Jueyu didn't dabble in such industry. No, but I can start one. Fang Jueyu sent a photo over, a business license that had been registered recently. Super God Movie Unlimited Company. Damn, Unlimited Company, awesome, awesome. The biggest difference between a limited liability company and an unlimited company is that if the company goes bankrupt, a limited company only has to pay up to the total assets of the company. In contrast, an unlimited company, if bankrupted, would pursue liability beyond the company to the legal representative. Only someone so rich he has nowhere to spend his money would register an unlimited company, who can guarantee their company will be forever successful and never bankrupt. Perhaps only someone like Fang Jueyu could pull off such a thing. Are you planning to shoot a movie? Yes, I originally planned to shoot a series, but now that I've even thought of the film transformation plan, why not make movies? 2 hours per installment. Given the massive storyline of Fighter Breaks the Sky, we could even make dozens of films. If you announce this idea, it could scare a whole bunch of people to death. So far, the film industry at most has around 20-something James Bonds, and Fang Jueyu's plan is straight up to heaven. Is this a film or a series? I'll leave the contract matters to you. I think filming ordinary storylines should be relatively easy. We can start filming immediately. As for the fighting scenes, I'll make a trailer first and put it online to shock the world. Ha ha ha, great. I'll handle the actors and contracts. I can't wait to see this trailer. With the plan in place, Fang Jueyu drove straight to the Super God Academy. Principal, what's caused you to make such a rushed visit? The sweeping monk noticed the eagerness on Fang Jueyu's face. Master, do we have any teachers here versed in cinematography? Of course we do. There's Mr. Kang, Mr. Wang, Mr. Li, and Mr. Ding, all of whom are extremely professional cinematography teachers. Then please find Mr. Kang for me. I need his help filming a piece of work, and please call over Teacher Zhao Yan. I need their help. Teacher Zhao Yan, yes, yes, yes. That's the spirit, the stance that looks down on the world. Very impressive. Teacher Yunshan, your expression is not right. You need to look shocked. You're a Du Zong powerhouse and it's a tie with a young man. How can you be so calm? And Teacher Zhao Yan, don't be so ruthless. Is this Buddha's furious fire lotus going to blow up the entire school? A portly, somewhat sleazy-looking middle-aged man was carrying an enormous machine, filming this incredibly thrilling super battle. This middle-aged man was the school's photography teacher, Mr. Kang. It had to be said that Mr. Kang's filming skills were top-notch. Coupled with this high-tech recording equipment, the images and momentum of the battle were entirely captured on camera. Moreover, the entire Super God Academy was under Fang Jueyu's control. He could freely alter the school's appearance and facilities at will. As a result, he recreated the whole Yunlin sect based on his imagination, and even adjusted the materials to a very reasonable hardness, aiming to achieve the most shocking and reasonable visual effect. Being the pinnacle super robot of a divine ability user, it was Fang Jueyu's first time witnessing their battle. The terrifying destructive power of the Buddha's furious fire lotus could annihilate an ordinary city in an instant. Just as Gogh had said, divine ability users truly were humanoid weapons, able to overturn a small country single-handedly. Fang Jueyu once believed that no matter how strong a person's power was, it could never compete with a nation's might. Now, he realized that the only reason they couldn't contend was because their personal power wasn't strong enough. On the towering buildings of Yunlin sect, half of the mountain gate had already been destroyed. Blue and white flames burned everywhere, and even the scorching temperature lingered around. If it weren't for Teacher Lin Dong's protection by his side, his early-stage hidden elemental strength would have long vanished without a trace. Tusk, why even bother with special effects? Just two teachers from Super God Academy fighting make for an epic battle scene. Fang Jueyu's blood boiled as he watched. Observing such a super battle live almost set his soul on fire. In today's filmmaking, if actors needed to fly, they would use wires. However, even the best actors using external help to fly would never achieve that graceful look. But they didn't need that. They could fly on their own. That confident and graceful demeanor was beyond the means of the best special effects. Teacher Lin Dong, after I finish filming this piece, I'll shoot a martial universe just for you. I guarantee it'll make you a sensation, Fang Jueyu said, enjoying himself while chatting with the martial arts teacher Lin Dong next to him. The battle only lasted 10 minutes, but the footage would be impressive enough to give anyone goosebumps in any film. The key was, Mr. Kang's camera was really fantastic. The images and sound were automatically processed, and the video was presented to him right after filming. With a command from Fang Jueyu, the battle-scarred Yunlin sect reverted to its original state, replaced by the remarkably sturdy school buildings again. Director, I'm done filming. I'm sure you'll be satisfied with my work, Mr. Kang confidently stated. Mr. Kang, Teacher Zio, Teacher Yun Shan, thank you all. Let's call it a day for now. We might trouble you again for the fight scenes once we're done filming the storyline, Fang Jueyu politely said. Director, rest assured, such a minor thing is a piece of cake. The three teachers immediately agreed submissively. They had no choice since Fang Jueyu called all the shots at Super God Academy. As he walked out of the school, Fang Jueyu couldn't resist sending the video to Wang Kong. He desperately needed someone to share the incredibly stimulating footage with. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Wang Kong sent back a series of vulgar words, but at that moment there weren't any words adequate enough to describe such a mood. Now I can't wait to see the final cut of this work myself. If a special effects team were to create such a scene, even an investment of hundreds of millions of US dollars might not produce such battle scenes. Based on our current pace, how long until we complete the first phase of filming? Fang Jueyu asked. About 3 months. Apart from the battle scenes, we can finish filming and editing the other parts, Wang Kong replied. Okay, I'll upload this clip now. It's more than enough to drop a bombshell in Hollywood and Huaxia's film markets. Friends, our invested work Battle Through the Heavens is anticipated to premiere in 3 months in theaters. Today, I'll give everyone a treat to showcase our team's special effects skills. Fang Jueyu immediately uploaded 2 of the 10-minute battle scene to his Weibo account. He knew that good things should be savored slowly. This trailer clip would completely outshine any film on the market and even show them what despair meant. No way, how long has this film been shooting and there's already a trailer? Is post-production possible this quickly? A curious audience member clicked in, but when they did, they were dumbfounded. The magnificent architectural scenes, the imposing battle visuals, dizzying fighting energy effects, and the actors' graceful performances. Was this really made with special effects? This was precisely the image they had in mind for Battle Through the Heavens. Countless viewers realized that this trailer perfectly matched the picture in their minds. Even the pickiest audience couldn't find a single flaw. Is this really special effects? Director, you didn't travel to the world of Battle Through the Heavens and record this fight, did you? Alas, the internet lacks culture. One phrase, holy shit, rules them all, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Kneeling down. Compared to this, the last film isn't even dog crap. This is the true Du-Chi transformation. This is the Du-Chi world in our hearts. Where will this series air? I'll definitely support it when it's out. You're not a Huaxia citizen if you don't watch it. 3 months, such a long time. Director, you're too much. Why whet our appetite like this? Just as netizens were going wild, Fang Jueyu dropped another bombshell. Friends, originally Battle Through the Heavens was planned as a TV series. However, considering certain aspects, we will serialize it as films, ensuring each episode lasts no less than 3 hours and with more than 40 episodes. Besides, I'll incorporate the latest VR equipment into this film series. Starting today, I'm planning a 90 billion investment to transform cinemas nationwide, letting you experience an on-the-spot viewing sensation. Another 90 billion, damn, I really don't get the world of the rich. Director, do you really only have 500 billion US dollars? At Forbes magazine, I don't believe you. Is it possible you only estimated the director's wealth to the nearest instance? Come in and get beaten. Is this a serialized movie? Director, can your tactics get any bolder? Director, are you planning to exhaust all the actors? Shooting 20 episodes every 6 months would take 20 years. Are you planning to outlive the actors? Haha. I don't care. If each episode has this level of special effects, I'll never watch another movie again. As he looked at the hundreds of thousands of comments, a satisfied smile appeared on Fang Jueyu's face. This was exactly the effect he wanted. The trailer spread across the world through various means and channels. As long as there were Huaxia people around, traces of this trailer could be found. In a lavish building in Hollywood, a man who looked about 30 years old watched the video with a livid complexion, his face flickering with different emotions and expressions, fully revealing the gravity in his heart. Huaxia's special effects production has reached this standard, with no discernible traces of processing. Even we can't achieve this level of technology for the time being, said a technical director standing next to Brella. Brella, who commanded Hollywood's entire special effects talent pool, naturally understood the technical difficulty required to present such visuals. To say nothing of other aspects, merely handling every detail of the camera work was flawless. No, there's definitely something wrong with this video, Brella said. Last year, the crew that adapted this IP in Huaxia sought our team for shooting and post-production assistance. We're well aware of Huaxia's special effects capabilities. It's impossible that they could have advanced to this extent in less than a year. But sir, even if they sought other teams, there's no way they could have produced such realistic footage. After all, there isn't any special effects team in the world better than ours in Hollywood, the technical director stated confidently. I know, but that was in the past. Brella adjusted his glasses. Now Huaxia is terrifying. Don't forget about their newly promoted VR technology. Recently, that company named Tencent's market value surpassed 1 trillion, while our internet company's market value has substantially shrunk. Especially game companies, they're on the verge of survival. Moreover, Huaxia's desert governance technology, I heard they've completely turned an experimental base's desert into soil. This filming location was conducted in that place. Huaxia can't be underestimated now. So, do you mean that Huaxia's special effects technology has surpassed ours now? Although I am unwilling to admit it, it seems to be so, Brella said. If this trailer wasn't produced using special effects, could it have been shot on location without any special effects? Sir, you must be joking. How could such people exist in the world? The technical director remarked. No, such people do exist in the world, Brella declared. In our country and indeed worldwide there is another unknown facet, but I am certain human beings depicted in the footage cannot exist. Unknown to others, Brella was also a superpower user, but his abilities didn't manifest in personal combat strength. Rather, they manifested in his brain, granting him exceptional wisdom, a more powerful cognitive ability, and a stricter logic capacity. Otherwise, how could someone around 30 years old control Hollywood's massive industry? He also knew there are many potent individuals with extraordinary force worldwide, superpower users and Huaxia's martial artists. Though their names differ in essence, they all transcend human limits. But he could be sure, even the most formidable superpower users couldn't cause destruction on such an earth-shattering scale, confirming it was produced using special effects. If such powerful individuals existed in the world, it would have been thrown into chaos long ago. Mr. Kier, Could you please arrange for some people to investigate Huaxia's shooting base to see their filming operations? I want to know which team could produce such visuals, Brella ordered. Sir, I have already investigated, the technical director said with a slightly awkward expression. There is no special effects setup at Huaxia's shooting base. According to my investigation, they only filmed dialogue scenes and non-combat scenes there, and this part of the trailer was shot elsewhere. As expected, with this revelation, Brella was even more certain of his previous assumption. Huaxia indeed created an extraordinary special effects technology, even leaving them far behind. Now reliant on Hollywood's influence in classic works, their films could still secure a place in Huaxia, but if their special effects technology did not advance, their market presence would soon start to dwindle. Brella was acutely aware of a group in Huaxia called trolls, who berate domestic poorly made films to the point of causing self-doubt. If one day Huaxia's film industry fully rose, perhaps their Hollywood special effects would become just future 50-cent special effects in the trolls' eyes. Losing Huaxia's market could mean half of Hollywood's film industry might collapse. No, we must learn this portion of the technology. Otherwise, within a year or two, it will be difficult for us to capture the Huaxia market. Brella was forward-thinking and farsighted. Huaxia didn't lack good IPs these days. Every year, there was a large number of hit online novels, once adapted into films. The market impact was no less than their superhero series. Initially, they could capture the Huaxia market with strong special effects technology and nostalgia. But if these advantages were lost, the consequences would be imaginable. Thinking of this, he immediately dialed his assistant's number. "Kalen, did Mr. Fang Jueyu, Huaxia's richest man, invite me to dinner last time? Please send an invitation back. Apologize that I was really busy earlier, and this time I'll host him for dinner to discuss continued collaboration." "Yes, young master, Brella's assistant asked me to inform you that Mr. Brella found some free time, and he wants to invite you to dinner to discuss the continuation of their collaboration." I thought this person was so immensely talented, but turns out he is just someone who sways like a flag in the wind. Fang Jueyu showed a disdainful expression, feeling the pressure now and finally scared. If Fang Jueyu knew Brella was a brain-enhanced superpower user, he would surely be more scornful. Isn't his brain enhanced? Then he shouldn't be so brainless, should he? Just recently slammed the door in my face, now turning around to offer goodwill. Does he think I lack a temper? In fact, Brella naturally considered this point, but he was confident because there was still significant cooperation between Huaxia and Hollywood's film market. Fang Jueyu was unlikely to completely sever ties with him. Yet he indeed overlooked the fact that Fang Jueyu was never one to follow conventions. He had no reservations, as he wasn't afraid of offending anyone or bearing any consequences. As long as he wasn't bound by morality, he would never be held hostage by it. Even if both markets crashed, what of it? Because in a mere year, he would be the sole master of this market. Soon, Brella received a call from his assistant. "How about it, did he agree?" Brella asked, very confident. Considering all aspects, Fang Jueyu wouldn't refuse him. "Mr. Brella," Mr. Fang's assistant said that Mr. Fang refused and left a message. They said, if an apology sufficed, then why would there be police? This piece of cake in the film industry has nothing to do with us anymore. Such arrogant Huaxia people. Upon hearing the assistant's report, Brella's face showed a hint of anger. "Mr. Brella, I think the special effects are actually secondary. What poses the greatest threat to us is their so-called VR cinema plan. You must have heard how terrifying the development trend of Tanksun Company is now," the assistant reminded. "I know." Brella's face turned extremely dark. Tanksun's games had almost captured more than 80% of the gaming market, and he had, of course, come into contact with Tanksun's games. To be fair, the games they created could be said to have built a second world for humanity. If it weren't for the time limit on the game's online sessions, many would even willingly immerse themselves in this virtual world, which could have a serious impact on the real world of humanity. Now, they even plan to apply this technology to the world of movies. He could already imagine moviegoers enjoying a top-tier movie-watching experience as if they were really there. No matter how shocking the scenes were or how realistic the special effects were, could anything match the thrill of experiencing each plot and every battle as if you were a participant in the movie? There was almost no doubt that once the audience experienced this level of image production and technology for the first time, they would be eager to try it a second and third time. Soon, the film industry would become a cake almost entirely consumed by Huaxia alone. At most, they could only make a slight profit, and certainly would not have the unique position they held now. No, we absolutely have to get our hands on this technology. Brella, being a superpower user, was not aiming for a higher realm. He just wanted to be an ordinary person, a carefree rich person in this mundane world, building a business empire with his own mind. He had already succeeded halfway, and now, seeing the dawn of his dream about to be realized, how could he watch it be shattered without doing anything? "You may leave now. I will handle this matter myself," Brella said to his assistant. "Yes, sir," the assistant left respectfully. "It's impossible to obtain these two technologies through normal channels," Brella muttered to himself. The internet war from a few months ago had already made the name CN resonate throughout the world. As long as CN was around, there was no way they could obtain anything from Huaxia via the internet. He even suspected that CN might be a superpower user with enhanced brain nerves. Otherwise, it would be difficult to achieve this. As for obtaining VR technology and special effects technology through commercial means from Tanksun and the Super God Movie Unlimited company founded by Fang Jueyu, it was impossible. These were their trump cards for dominating the global industry chain, absolutely impossible to sell. Getting these two technologies would require some special methods, even if those methods could not see the light of day. Judging from the situation of Tanksun and this movie company, Fang Jueyu must play a very crucial role in this VR technology. He might even hold the core of this technology. If Fang Jueyu could be controlled, then obtaining this technology might be a breeze. After all, even if he was the richest person in the world, no matter how wealthy, he was just an ordinary person, right? Even if he could pay a lot to hire some special individuals, an ordinary person was still an ordinary person. "And Key, it's me, Brella." Brella dialed a phone that hadn't been used for a long time. Like many superpower users, Brella was not an innate superpower user. As a child, he was kidnapped by a research organization for experiments. More fortunate than many experimental subjects, Brella survived and possessed thinking and intelligence beyond ordinary people. However, they were controlled by the organization, and freedom was a luxury for them. However, there were not a few who, like him, craved freedom. He and a group of friends who were also experiments formed a secret alliance. With his intellect and the formidable combat power of the group, they destroyed that organization and took control of it themselves. Now, this organization survived by selling intelligence and executing special tasks. Brella was tired of this life of scheming and combat, so he left the organization to seek a new life, but his connection with the organization never broke. Because among that group of people they had a pact, they would always be companions, a family. "Brella, long time no see." A voice full of surprise came from the other end. "It's been nearly a year since you last called me." And Key was a 22-year-old young man, but with exceptional talent and adaptability. In Huaxia's ancient martial world, age was a mark of strength, but not so among superpower users. Even teenagers could become top strongmen if they survived repeated enhanced transformations. This Enki was a superpower user who exceeded the SSS level. He was the biggest contributor to the counterattack that destroyed the entire organization back then. "Enki, I've got something I need your help with this time," Brella said. "HMPH, I knew it. You never think of us brothers whenever there's a good thing." Enki pretended to be angry, but he didn't blame Brella since Brella funded a large amount of the group's research money every year. "Tell me, what is it?" "Help me catch someone." "A small matter. Who is it? Give me the information." "The current richest person in the world, Fang Jueyu." "A Huaxia person." And Key's expression changed. "Brella, you know, we take jobs from all over the world, but we never take jobs involving Huaxia people. Huaxia is that woman's domain, and even if we move the entire organization, we can't even enter their national borders." "Don't worry, I've investigated thoroughly. That Huaxia man, named Fang Jueyu, will be going to Singapore in a few days to attend this year's World University Cybersecurity Information Technology competition. Once he's out of Huaxia, we won't have to worry about that woman." "Ha ha ha, Brella, you're as meticulous as ever." Hearing that they didn't need to act within Huaxia, and Key relaxed immediately. In other places, that Huaxia woman didn't intervene. "So can you help me out?" Brella asked with a smile. "Nonsense, what kind of relationship do we have?" And Key agreed without hesitation. "I'll bring people personally. Huaxia superpower users are controlled by the state, and even if he's rich at most, he could hire a few martial artists. As long as they are heavenly human realm martial artists, I can definitely bring him back for you. Thanks. By the way, don't let anyone know about this operation. I'm afraid of leaks, and I worry that Fang Jueyu might have some ties to that woman. Brella was undoubtedly cautious in his actions. Got it. Also, there's no need for thanks in the future. Just visit us more often. Rosa sort of misses you, hahaha. Someone else wants to kidnap me. Oh, stepmom, I got it. Fang Jueyu responded in a garbled manner while brushing his teeth as he answered Zhuang Xinyan's call. No problem if they come to Huaxia, just take care of them. Even if I go abroad, Gogh is around. You don't need to inform me about these things anymore. I'm a hidden elementer now. Ever since he became the world's richest person, it seemed the whole world had been plotting to kill him or kidnap him, both from domestic and abroad. The superpower user and assassin organizations controlled by Zhuang Xinyan had, to this day, received over 100 orders targeting Fang Jueyu, averaging dozens of orders each month. Of course, there were also some minor organizations beyond Zhuang Xinyan's control, but they couldn't even enter Huaxia and ended up dead beyond its borders. That's true, even if Gogh is gone, those motley forces can't touch you. I worried too much, Zhuang Xinyan laughed. All right, go brush your teeth. I'm going to video chat with your dad. Damn, that ungrateful old coot barely video chats with me, yet he sweethearts with my stepmom. Fang Jueyu cursed aloud and hung up the phone.